Well, good morning. Happy Sunday morning. Hope you're all well and virus free. Thankfully it's stopped raining here, the obligatory cup of tea. So what have I been doing? In between days of total apathy and doing absolutely zilch, just sitting in the chair, I've been working on these riders and drivers, I think then, riders and drivers for our French artillery battery. I'll tell you an interesting thing in a minute, sort of issue I have. So they're coming along. Just started on the red, actually. Sorry, that's not a very good picture. I'm only using the iPhone. But they're not that far off finished, actually. And I noticed with the looking online, I went through my books and couldn't find any decent illustrations, so I was looking online. I noticed with this particular figure, with the jacket slung over the shoulder, I don't know what you call that jacket. What do they call that jacket? Dolman? Is that the right word? But anyway, the fur trim on it, I saw it as black, brown, and I also saw white. Is there one particular colour, or was it just a case that some were brown, some were black, some were white? Anybody let me know? But I've also done a bit of work to our 54mm Airfix Pikeman. So he's starting to come along. Painted the breeches, the stockings and the boots or shoes, and also the hair. And I've done the face. I'm not over impressed with the face, but starting to come along, so I've been working on him, trying to get him finished. I've also painted the gloves. I did the gloves as well, or gauntlets, I suppose you'd call them. So he's coming along. But the issue I had, and I was mentioning this with one or two comments with Busy Bristles last night, about Tamiya paint. Now, any of you people out there have any issues with Tamiya paint? Now, as you can see by this figure, he's pale blue, which is so it says on the box. So, in preference to that, or in in readiness for that, I bought, because I knew I was going to be painting them, so I went online and bought this Tamiya XF23 light blue. But the problem I have with it is you put it on the palette, you stir it, don't get me wrong, I always stir the paint or shake the bottle or whatever. It sort of separates, that's the right word. You end up with like a lump of powdery, claggy stuff and a pool of nondescript coloured water, and trying to mix it back up and paint with the claggy stuff. It's just a non-starter. So I ended up having to go back online and ordering something by Vallejo. But I couldn't find light blue in model colour. They don't seem to do a light blue in model colour. I could get it in Model Air, light blue, which, as you can see, yes, that's Model Air, so it's pre-thinned, it's very thin. But I could find in model colour was light green blue. Which is actually a very good match for the Tamiya. A pretty good match. This is the one I went for in the end. It's what I used in the end. But I bought both just so I could sort of choose what I thought. And that's not going to eat any meat anyway, being stuck in the basket. That's fine. So that's what I went with. So I bought a lot of Tamiya paints because, as you know, if you go back a few videos of mine, you'll see me going through the Tamiya kits, taking out the instruction sheets and writing down all the colours I'm going to need for when I get around to these kits. So I bought a lot of Tamiya paint, but I don't have a lot of faith in it. I've got to be honest with you, I don't have a lot of faith. I have 100% absolute faith in Vallejo. I know what it does and it's fine. I've even had one or two issues with humble acrylics, particularly the browns. They will sort of go a bit strange on the palette after a while. So what I've done, because I bought all the Tamiya paints for the kids and stuff, I've sort of since gone online and bought the equivalent colours in Vallejo, just in case, because I don't have a lot of faith in it. So any of you out there have issues with Tamiya paint, let me know in the comments below. But then I did think, after I'd left comments to our friend Busy Bristles, I did think maybe I'm being a little bit hard on Tamiya, because what I thought was, I bought this online and the person that sold it to me said, you know, brand new. I said, alright, fine. But it may be brand new, unopened, but how long have they had it on their shelf or in store? You know, is there a sell by date for this stuff? You know, is there a lifespan for this stuff? Paint in general, acrylic paint in general, is there a lifespan for this stuff? Any of you know out there, is there a lifespan for this stuff? I mean, do you say, well, after 3-4 years, whatever, it's going to get a bit strange? I mean, so excuse me, it may be a case that, might it not, that the brand is okay, but it's just past its shelf life. And I've been sold a jar of paint that's past its shelf life. Is that the case? I don't know. I don't know. I've an idea. What I might do before long is have a crack at some Games Workshop paints, Citadel paints, and see how I get on with them. I might have a go at them, see how I get on with them. But Vallejo I know are fine. I've never had an issue with Vallejo. I know exactly what they do. They're fine. But these, not sure about. So anybody have issues with these? Let me know. Let me know. And how long have you had paint for? Let me know that as well. If you've had a jar of paint or a, and you say, well, I've had that colour for like 8 years and it's still fine. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know your thoughts on paint. I'm interested to know now. This has got me thinking now. But like I say, you know, I don't have a 100% huge amount of faith, as it stands at the moment, a huge amount of faith in Tamiya paint. What I think I might do later on is just take some of the other jars of Tamiya paint I have and just stir them up, stick a little bit on a palette and just see if they separate, see how they go. One thing I do have to do quickly before I go and leave you to your Sunday is I have to take all my containers of paint and add one of them thought that would be a good idea to help mix them up. And they recommend, I looked at these online, they recommend you want glass ones rather than metal ones, because metal ones can rust. So I bought the glass ones, but I haven't got around to putting them in the tubs yet. But that's a job that needs to be done. So there you go, that's where I'm at. I'm still here. I'm going to get going on the red on these figures. I get that done today, that'll be something. Red I'm using for that is Vallejo flat red, and I'll go over it, highlight it with a little bit of scarlet. I'll do that. And that'll be the bulk of these figures done then. It'll be just little odds and ends like whips and stirrups and little tiny things. We're getting there. So hope everybody's okay, avoiding the bubonic plague. I've not had the what do they call it, vaccine. I've not had the vaccine yet. I'm not so sure that I will actually, but that's another story. So I hope whatever you're doing is going well, whatever you're painting, making, building, constructing. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, thanks to everybody that subscribes. We will see you on the next one.